but Daniel Jones is a huge one.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about Jared Goff a little bit, actually quite a lot. I don't know if we need to dive into Jared Goff too much more. Daniel Jones, though, is the guy that I think, myself included, everybody just went, well, if he's sitting there in the last rounds of the draft, he'll be a guy I'll stack with another quarterback and just see what shakes out. And that's as much confidence as I gave into him. But
Mm-hmm.
here's what I want to talk about with Daniel Jones. That's very important. We talk about rushing upside all the time here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Konami code factor. But like, I just want to distill this into one little metric from this season. The QB rushing leaders. So anybody who got more than 40 rushing yards per game, here's that list. Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Daniel Jones. All 5 of those guys finished inside the top 10 in points per game. Lamar Jackson obviously did not play very much, unfortunately. But Daniel Jones has, I hate saying this, I hate it, sneaky rushing upside. Because Daniel
as we
Jones,
said last week, he's a scooter. He knows how to scoot.
He's a scooter, and everybody remembers that play where he ran really far and tripped before he got into the end zone. And I swear to God, that's what is discounting him from getting the same Konami code sort of love that these other guys get.
It's interesting, Jake, because this is one player I wanted us to have a conversation with. When I was looking at the list, I'm like, Daniel Jones, what are we feeling about him after this season? Because he definitely took a step forward this year, I feel like. It sounds like he's going to remain with the Giants. I know he's a free agent after this year. He's one of their free agents. Sounds like they want to keep him on board, which is awesome. Like they should. Like he's a very serviceable quarterback. The fact that he was 9th overall in total points and points per game, like he was top 10 in both. So it's not like, oh yeah, he had some big blow up games and kind of like Kirk Cousins, basically. And the fact that he did all of this year with the Sisters of the Poor wide receiver core, like, I mean, Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard that was injured for half the season, Richie James, whoever
His target
that
leader
is.
was Saquon Barkley, which makes a lot of sense.
I mean, he did this all with essentially no alpha wide receivers on the team.
Yeah, no
and
stars.
I think that the Giants are going to go out and either try to trade for one or sign one of the big name free agent wide receivers this year to really help bolster that wide receiver core. So they have that one alpha. So
yeah,
I want to play a game. So if they do that, say they sign, I don't even know who's a free agent.
Well, that's what I want to talk about in a little bit, but let's get through this game first because I don't know about the free agents.
So just say, assuming they sign one, or maybe they draft one of the very highly coveted wide receivers in this draft class.
Okay, the top tier. Okay.
Yeah. What does that do for Daniel Jones for you for next season going into redraft? Knowing that he finished inside the top 10.
Yeah.
And say they bring in this alpha wide receiver and it's going to be a second year in the McAdoo offense.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to be drafting? Is he going to be someone you're identifying maybe in like if you're waiting a little bit on quarterback, not getting one of those elite top, 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Is he someone you're going to identify possibly in like the 8th or 9th round, get him a little bit early, but just knowing that he finished inside the top 10 this last year?
It's not that he finished inside the top 10. That's not what's going to do it for me. What's doing it for me with Daniel Jones is the Konami code aspect of him, the underrated Konami code aspect.
Scoot.
And what you said, it doesn't matter to me necessarily who they bring in at wide receiver. And I don't know that they're going to have a ton of options. Maybe they could trade for somebody. Maybe one of these guys who's on the outs, maybe Brandon Cooks, who wants out of Texas so bad. Or maybe he wants Elijah Moore, who's disgruntled over with the Jets. Maybe they could get somebody like that. Because the free agent pool, I will note, is topped by Juju Smith-Schuster and then pretty much Sterling Shepard is the next on that list. So that makes it difficult for the wide receiver part. I would still be interested in him, supposing that his ADP is outside of the top 12 guys.
Which I'm assuming it's going to be
easy click off for me because he is going to get the rushing upside. He has not had a season like this before. And I understand that. Like 700 yards for him is a lot. And maybe some of that has to do with the fact that he didn't have a ton of receivers to throw to, and he felt like he had to take it on himself to do it more. Or maybe it's just the system, and they're letting him do what he's good at because he is good at it.
Exactly.
So I'm into it.